I used to be a General Motors employee before they started laying a lot of people off.
I had graduated college a year beforehand, and I really had no idea how to get a job or how to write a resume.
This is actually pragmatic. You can hands-on apply it the minute you read it.
And if I never read this book, I'd probably still be searching online.
Not only enjoy reading it, but you will learn so much. It'll be invaluable to you.
I made a complete 180 with this book. I have gotten 5 interviews in the past 9 days.
This book helped me. It's what pulled me through, helped me find a new job, and replace all that I felt like I had lost.
I got a job offer in 2 weeks.
It really wasn't until I found this book that I really started getting all the job offers.
I mean, honestly, it's totally helped me.
And after using the tactics and techniques that the book gave me, I put them to use and found myself getting called back to the second and third and fourth interview, which is awesome.
Get the book too. I totally suggest it. 2 thumbs up, and I'm loving it. I'm going to keep working with it this week.
Hey, it's Landon Long of InterviewMastermind.com, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can learn my secrets to getting a good job in today's crappy economy. But before we get started, I just want you to know that this video is not going to be all sales pitchy or anything. I made this video because I wanted it to be more like a conversation, so you can decide for yourself if the unspoken rules of getting hired is in fact for you. I'm not going to be doing any sort of high-pressure sales tactics or any fancy-pants Jedi mind tricks on you, but I do have a lot of information to share with you. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, I want to ask you a question. Are you having any luck right now looking for a job in this economy? If you're like most job seekers, I'm guessing the answer is no. And I'm guessing that also like most job seekers, you have no idea why. Because let's face it, you're tired. Tired of being afraid that you won't ever find a job in this shitty economy. Tired of sending out resumes for jobs you know you're perfect for, but getting 0 response. And tired of being frustrated because you have no experience. I know how you feel because I was once there too. I still remember what it was like being the average job seeker with a mountain of debt and no income to even chip away at it. But then I uncovered something so powerful that it changed my life forever. And listen, this is my story, but it could just as easily be your story too. We're all in this together, trust me on that. I've never done anything like this, so I'm just going to jump in and you try to keep up. Things get hairy and people always get weird when I tell them how I landed a $60,000 a year job offer in under 2 months right after college. But before we go any further, I need to set the record straight. I'm not one of those guys who got hooked up with a job from one of their daddy's golf buddies. My parents were blue-collar immigrants, and I grew up knowing nothing about the corporate world. Let me put your mind at ease by pulling the curtain back and showing you exactly what happened. For the first time ever, here's the backstory behind the job hunt that landed me an entry-level salary that surpassed 95% of my graduating class in the nation. It all started in my senior year of college when I thought my future was set. I had an internship lined up, an assurance from my supervisor's supervisor, and the senior director of the company that my position was secure. And then suddenly, my golden future slipped right through my fingertips. Just before graduation, the vice president of the company decided conditions weren't right for hiring, and 4 out of 5 interns expecting a position, including myself, were denied the careers we'd been promised at the last minute. Frankly, I was scared out of my mind, and for good reason, because I had no experience, my GPA was only a 3.17, it was spring quarter, and I had no other job leads, and most companies had already finished hiring. I spent 4 years of college and I had nothing to show for it. These were the thoughts that went through my mind. What would my parents say when they realized I wasted a huge chunk of their life savings on a degree that I couldn't even use? I might have to take a part-time job to make ends meet. That meant moving back with my parents and dealing with, well, living with my parents again. And that meant I could pretty much count on being single for the rest of my life. I gathered all my remaining self-esteem and hit the streets, applying for hundreds of positions. And you know what? I got 2 replies. You might be thinking, well, that's better than 0, right? Wrong. My quote-unquote replies were 2 letters in the mail that looked something like this. Thank you for your interest in blank company. Your qualifications have been carefully reviewed. However, in relation to our current needs, we are unable to offer you a position. We will retain your application in our files. If our needs should change requiring your particular skills and experience, you may be reconsidered. We wish you every success. Best regards, Human Resources. Ever seen one of these before? And I found out later, one of the positions went to someone in my class. I even knew the guy, and he was a total slacker when it came to actual work. He was just a smooth talker. And here's a hint, that means he knew how to market himself to employers. It was right then and there I realized the job search was one of the most unfair processes in the modern world. Welcome to the harsh reality of job hunting. I turned to the Career Center, what seemed like a reasonable decision for someone in my situation. But after driving an hour and waiting for 30 minutes, all they ended up doing was handed me a resume packet with some samples and sent me away. It was like I was just a number to them. Really, I mean, where was all of my tuition money going? You know, I even asked 3 different professors for advice, and every one of them said something different than the last. I scoured the library and online resources for a magic bullet everyone else had somehow missed, but it just wasn't there. That's when a friend emailed me a video he found online. Said something like, "Hey man, I think this might be able to help you in your job search." You know, I was curious, so I clicked the link and watched the video. This is where my real journey begins. Turns out, it was made by a famous marketing guru teaching advanced marketing concepts based on human psychology. He held up 2 books in his hands, explaining that one of them sold for $1,000 and the other sold for $13. Why, he asked, is it that the first book could command such a higher price than the other book? And he went on and talked about increasing the perceived value of your products and tapping into the psychology of customers. You know, as I was watching it, my eyes began to open. I realized something I had never noticed before because they just don't teach this kind of stuff in school. It was all about human psychology. I saw then that marketing is one of the most important skills you can learn in your life. Whether marketing an idea to your boss, your personality to the opposite sex, or your skills to a hiring manager, the marketing is where all the leverage is. After I learned this, I plunged myself into all the literature available on job hunting, and I was soaking up everything I could about hiring psychology because I really wanted to understand where employers were coming from. Then I took what I had learned and headed back out into the job market to do a little field testing. You know, some things worked and some things didn't, but I kept tweaking this raw concept. And as time went on, I developed an edge where most people were sleepwalking. I didn't see one door open for me, many doors began to fly open. With every resume I turned in, more employers called to arrange interviews. With every phone call, more and more led to sitting in an office discussing my future. Then one day, all my work paid off. I was offered a position starting at $48,000 a year. At first, I was thrilled with accomplishment, but after some careful research, I decided the company was a bad choice for me. Hold up, I know what you're thinking. Just weeks before, I was devastated about not finding work, and there I was turning down a job. Was I crazy? Not at all. Here's why. At the time, employers were returning my phone calls instead of ignoring them or even blocking them. Not only that, but between classes, I'd have several messages from employers who wanted to interview me when in the past I'd be lucky to get even one. And lastly, employers were beginning to pursue me instead of the other way around. Everything had changed. Instead of hearing the typical, "It was very nice to meet you, Landon. We'll be in touch." Yeah, right. I started hearing these words. "You're hired." I received 6 offers by the time I graduated, one from one of the most competitive firms in my industry, and they offered $55,000 a year with benefits. And then after burying my nose in a book and learning some powerful negotiation strategies, I ended up negotiating a starting salary of $60,000 a year. To me, this wasn't just about a new career. I no longer needed to worry about bills or the threat of unemployment. I'd never have to turn to my parents or the government to save me. I'd never have to settle for a job that sucked the life out of me. And if I lost my job, I could easily get another because I knew a side of the interviewing process that other people didn't even know existed. Because when my unemployed friends realized the results of my methods, they begged me for my secret. So I developed a system, a series of steps anyone could follow to get their dream job. I coached friends who went on to get their own interviews and their own success, and people started calling me the interview mastermind. One friend of mine even used my methods to get a $10,000 raise. So after I helped out my friends, I started coaching college seniors I didn't even know. People with no one else to turn to. The buzz around my methods grew bigger and bigger until finally one of my buddies called me up and said, "Dude, you should write an ebook and sell it online because you could really help thousands of people during this crappy economy." So that's exactly what I did. I wrote down everything I'd learned in an entertaining story designed to keep you engaged. The book is called The Unspoken Rules of Getting Hired, recession-proof secrets that employers do not want you to know. I guarantee you've never been taught this stuff before. And once I show you how this works, it's all going to make perfect sense. And here's a sneak peek at what you'll discover inside my new book. In Chapter 1, The Suicide Caller, you're going to learn how to avoid getting screwed by one of the most commonly overlooked internet death traps. If you've ever felt like your interviewer didn't like you from the moment they saw you and you couldn't explain why, it's probably because you messed this up. You'll also learn about why sending a generic cover letter doesn't work and how you can start using this fact to stand out instantly in your job search. Another thing you're going to learn is a simple mindset shift that will supercharge your job search in a way that'll get you to stop interviewing harder and start interviewing smarter. In Chapter 2, Initiation, you're going to learn the unconscious system that employers use to instantly classify candidates. And here's a hint. It has nothing to do with GPA or experience. And when you know how it works and how to trigger it, employers will naturally place you at the top of their yes lists every time. I'm also going to show you a deceptively simple way to tweak your resume that instantly lets high-quality employers know you're a top candidate. And you're also going to learn a lesson from a multi-million-dollar business that you can use to gain the respect and admiration of every employer who lays eyes on your resume, to the point where they are not only happy to introduce you to their hiring decision makers, but insist on it. In Chapter 3, Unfamiliar Territory, I'm going to teach you the secret of a master marketer that you can use to quickly create a positive aura around yourself that makes you stand out from other applicants. You'll also learn a proven technique used by top salespeople for changing your procrastination habits. And it's easy to learn, and most importantly, forces you to kick the habit permanently. And I'm also going to teach you an unfair marketing trick that will get a hiring manager to automatically choose you over another job seeker. In Chapter 4, Demonstrating Value, I'm going to teach you what A players know about success with landing job offers that average job seekers don't, and how you can use this information to instantly trigger attraction in employers without being manipulative or unethical. You're also going to learn the secret thought that all employers have about job applicants that they pray you will never discover. This is a secret that no one has had the balls to tell you before now. I'm also going to teach you the 3 attributes you need to learn to scientifically increase your chances of landing a high-quality career. Hiring managers are pre-programmed to look for these 3 things in a candidate, so listen up when you get to this part in the book. In Chapter 5, Complications, if you don't know the right way to use body language, you're probably telegraphing the message, "I'm not a person you should hire," before you've even spoken with them. I'll show you the right way to make eye contact and the wrong way to do it as well. You're also going to learn a body language error that most job seekers make that projects the message, "I am not reliable." And this will eliminate any chance an employer will have at feeling attraction for you, even if they know they should be interested in you. And I'm also going to teach you how to avoid looking like you're trying too hard when you use your new body language techniques. Chapter 6, The Inner Circle. I'm going to teach you what to do when the employer offers you a salary for less than what you're worth. Here's a quick and easy way to negotiate for more money without looking like you're greedy. You're also going to learn an amazing works every time negotiation tactic from a master deal maker. Use this to automatically trigger their fear of loss instinct and make them feel like they have to have you. I'm also going to teach you powerful salary negotiation scripts that not only work, but actually reverse the roles and get them to try to recruit you as their new hire. In Chapter 7, Judgment Day, I'm going to teach you a simple 3-step process that'll help you instantly eliminate interview anxiety. You'll be able to charge yourself up with confidence anytime you want and talk to employers in any situation. You're also going to learn what to say when an employer asks about your weaknesses, so that they become more interested in you, not less. When you do this correctly, it will increase your chances with them tenfold. I'm also going to teach you how to end the interview in a way that triples the chances of an interviewer remembering you and responding positively to you. And lastly, Chapter 8, Verdict. I'm going to teach you a secret to stop yourself from becoming intimidated by really powerful executives, so even vice presidents are no longer out of your league. The best part of this is when you do this, they will see you as one of their own and be open and receptive to hiring you. You're going to learn how to make your own luck when it comes to landing your dream job. There are things that lucky job seekers do to attract top positions, and you can learn what they are. And finally, I'm going to teach you the rejection reversal. Use this amazing technique when an employer rejects you that not only turns the situation around and gets the two of you talking, but actually sparks their attraction for you when you do it. And here's a newsflash. Some super competitive firms get so many applicants that they start to reject candidates automatically. Use this secret to get past their defenses and show them that you are a catch. You know, at this point, I could easily tell you that this book will make all the difference in your job search if you apply what you learn from it. The trouble is, I have more stuff to say and more stuff to show you, so I'll be quick. If you decide to get the Unspoken Rules of Getting Hired, you'll also receive 3 incredible free bonuses specifically chosen to ensure your immediate and continued success. Let me show you what I mean. The first bonus is my First Impressions 9 Subliminal Ways to Make Employers Like and Remember You ebook. Want to know the most effective way to make a first impression that lasts? Use subliminal tricks to make them remember you. In this bonus book, I delve into 9 subliminal tricks you can consciously employ to make an impression that lasts, because subliminal messages appeal to our emotions rather than our intellect, and our emotions are a powerful natural force. As your second bonus, you're going to get the Interview Style Guide, how to dress in a way that automatically attracts employers. Did you know that what you wear to your interview is probably more toxic to your success than your actual work experience? Well, it is. This guide explains in simple, straightforward language why it's essential that you learn to present yourself in a professional manner. And it will arm you with all the information along with some priceless tips and tricks that you'll need to master all the signals sent by what you wear and how you wear it. As your third bonus, you're going to get my Q&A manifesto, how to answer the 45 most common interview questions. There is nothing more frustrating than not knowing what questions are going to be asked on an interview. This manifesto is packed with helpful tips and insights that explain why employers ask certain questions and what it is they're trying to get at. Once you've taken the time to study this important guide, you'll never feel like you don't know what to expect from another interview again. Not only that, but for a limited time, I'm going to throw in my confidential top-shelf resume template, my resume words and phrases swipe file, and my DHV story worksheet just to make this deal a little sweeter. That's a value of over $170. The Unspoken Rules of Getting Hired is truly the modern job seeker's Bible of proven interview techniques, but the bonuses I just mentioned are only available for a limited time. And you know what? All this is yours for much less than you'd spend on textbooks. When I was going through the trial and error phase, I could spend hundreds, sometimes even over $1,000 trying to figure this stuff out on my own. And I'm sure I spent far more than that on all the time I wasted in trying the advice that I got from so-called interview experts that didn't work, and in some cases made my employment situation worse. It was a hard and very expensive lesson, one you may have learned yourself. So here's what I've done with my Unspoken Rules of Getting Hired ebook. I've decided to slash the normal fee I've been charging for this book. I know it's like a quarter of what I normally charge, but I want to make sure this book is accessible to everyone who has a burning desire to have the career of their dreams and a better life. I honestly don't want to leave anyone out. Okay, so who did I make this book for? I made it for the full-time students who can't make job hunting a full-time job, the college students who don't have a job lined up after graduation, job seekers who don't know what it's like to think like employers, college grads with mid to low GPAs, grads with little to no experience, grads who get really nervous in job interviews, job seekers who want to switch career paths, grads who are frustrated with the interview process, college students looking for internships, grads who don't have parents in the corporate world to help them with their resumes or job search, grads who don't have a large professional network, grads who are willing to learn from someone who's already been through the trial and error stage so that they don't have to, and grads who are tired of cookie-cutter solutions offered by free online resources and their school's career centers. Now, who doesn't need this book? People who have no problems getting job offers from employers, people who have a job that they're happy with, people who think they won't have any problems finding a job in this economy, people who don't like to take shortcuts and like to figure things out on their own, people who can give up lots of personal time to figure out how to get hired from scratch, and people who can consistently get attractive job offers without any help. Okay, so listen, I want you to know up front, this stuff is not for everybody. If you're a pipe dreamer, or if you're the type of person who buys ebooks like this and lets them get lost in your hard drive somewhere, or if you're someone who likes to talk about it rather than do it, then please, this isn't for you. I should mention here that this is not just about getting jobs. Obviously, the Unspoken Rules of Getting Hired works like crazy when you're getting a job, but that's not all it's used for. The Unspoken Rules of Getting Hired is a system of communication that makes employers and hiring managers magnetically drawn to you, bringing them under your influence so they happily give you a job. The amazing thing about all this is that it's totally under the radar. While your competition is out there begging employers to hire them, the Unspoken Rules of Getting Hired teaches you to influence them in more subtle ways. You're perceived to be more of an asset than just another job seeker. This results in employers wanting to hire you and never giving you up to one of their competitors. So if you want to put the Unspoken Rules of Getting Hired to work for you, I'm happy to get you started, because you'll also get my 100% money back guarantee. I'm going to take all the risk on myself and allow you to order with zero risk. You have a full 60 days to evaluate the book and start to implement the strategies that you learn from it. If during the 60 days you don't feel this book has been worth 10 times the investment you made, I want you to ask for a refund, and I'll gladly send 100% of your money back. I value my reputation far above making money, and I want you to be fully satisfied with all my products. Order the Unspoken Rules of Getting Hired today, and you won't have to wait a week or more to get it because it's an ebook, so you get instant access. As soon as you click the pay button, you'll receive instructions to instantly download it to your computer. You can view it on your laptop or desktop, or you can print it out. No matter how you digest this book, I guarantee you've never been taught this stuff before. And once I show you how to do it, you'll never go back to the old way again. Don't believe me? Just read what others had to say about my book in the comments below. Now, do me a favor and imagine where you'll be 90 short days from right now. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Now imagine yourself finally finishing out your senior year without worrying about finding a job after you graduate. Imagine working at a job that you love and moving on with the next chapter of your life. Most people, when they go back home after college, they can't believe how depressed everyone looks in their unemployed situations. But there's always that one person who seems to have defied the economy. Can you imagine being that one person that everyone else is talking about because you knew something that others didn't? Can you imagine what it's like to suddenly be that person that everyone else envies? Now, I know it's not very mature to think about it that way, but it does feel pretty good. Okay, now here are the facts. I cannot take the next step for you. The other possibility, of course, is that you don't try reading the Unspoken Rules of Getting Hired. You choose not to give yourself these benefits. I don't need to tell you what the result of that will be, because you're living it right now. If you think being broke, unemployed, and living with your parents is inevitable, I can tell you it's not. I can tell from the very fact that you're still watching this video that you must have the same ambition that I did to get the most fulfilling career that you can and make the best of your life. I just know that you want more for yourself, and I believe in you. I believe that with just a few simple ideas and changes, you really can get the amazing benefits that I've been talking about in this video. Click the button below and start reading right now. Remember, the bonuses and prize can only be found on this site and are available for a limited time. Again, I'm Landon Long of InterviewMastermind.com, and I can't wait to see you on the other side. Thanks for watching this video.